guess, as long as DarkPassage doesn't commit quickly. And this puts ArchAngels in a really bad spot. They give up a frag towards the B side. Their Opper goes down at long, gets traded out. And it looks like DarkPassage will be heading towards the B-bomb site. This is a 3-on-4. A lot of times here, CTs want to aggress, try to get some intel, or at least even out those numbers. So Robin's going to peek aggressively from the broken wall position. If he can get one here, he does spot out two. The rotation should be there, but again, once you lose that connector position, rotations get difficult. A freebie for Robin, catches Suzuki with a nade out. But at least the next two CT, they don't have smokes to hold the cross. They do have flashes. Not a good one. Fetch unaffected, but still Calix gets the kill. Dominate, gets one, and DarkPassage win a very crucial. Is that important round? Yeah.
So it was on the CT side. It's still known to be a T-sided map unless their T-side is really bad. I feel like this kind of buy from ArchAngels shouldn't happen. Like this is a typical penta buy right now.
Yeah, you're up 6-2. Do you really need to gamble? If you get anything more than 6, things are looking really strong as long as you have a good T-side moving in.
But I'm assuming that maybe they know that DarkPassage money isn't that good, so they're like, if we win this round, we might be able to put them back on the Nico, which would be accurate.
Yeah, I mean, probably. You could argue that that might be the game if we have to see DarkPassage go down to, like, say, a 10-plus digits for the ArchAngels. You have to assume they'll be able to get 6. DarkPassage, again, with their default opening. They are bringing Woxic back, or so it seems from watching the A side. A slow, methodical clearing of the drop down. And again, I can't understate how much they're switching it up at this drop down. Sometimes they'll just go in raw with the gun. Sometimes Robin grabs Calix and gets out of there cleanly with just a UMP. He's swapped out. He's going to show himself. Suzuki might press forward into this position, but still he is going to clear it. No, that molly not wide enough for Dominate. He does the half-C check. Dominate comes jumping in. Quicks, I missed the knife. Looks like he shanked somebody. I don't know where that one went down. The DarkPassage is trying to come into the A side. Fetch will crush that spot. 7-2, and the gamble pays off. That is crippling.
That gamble was worth it. I mean, right now you look at DarkPassage money not looking too good. I'm assuming that they're not gonna risk anything. They're gonna go for a type of like light buy right now, probably like Tech 9, no armor. But it seems like they're actually investing pretty much into it. Like Tech 9 full armor with flashes and smoke for 2 of them. So it's a pretty interesting save from them. I'm assuming it's because they know they're gonna have to double eco either way, so they're like, well, let's try to make something out of it.
Yeah. I mean, the problem is there if you don't get the bomb down in this sort of round, it's really going to hurt your next buy to follow it up, so they really need this plant. Maybe even more, as Calix is able to bring a couple down with that Tech 9. Woxic as well. Calix has found his way to the flank. Fetch seems aware. No, he turns, goes for the reload. Down, he posted up, and he's going to connect. 8-2. That gamble. Not going to pay off for DarkPassage. Along with that, not getting the bomb down, not going to have everything they want to follow.
Exactly what you just said. Right now, that eco that they were hoping for, or maybe the best case scenario would have been, I mean, the best case would have been to win the round, but other than that would have been to have a bomb plan. Didn't get that, and right now you see it's a low investment type of eco. Probably going to go towards the B bomb side again. It seems to be the bomb side that they like to hit the most, and they seem to be pretty successful at it. Like they get easily on the B bomb side. They just have issues to kind of get the bomb down.
Yeah, despite the consistency I thought was happening for DarkPassage at that drop, that last round we saw him give up a frag. Or the last gun round, I should say, against an ump, and then that kind of shut things down from there. But I do like the way they're approaching it. But, yeah, I can't seem to trade out effectively coming into that site. And ArchAngels, after they went with the force buy of their own, hard reset, DarkPassage elect to force buy, and then we're on to this round. No, they got more than I thought they would, at least with the nade set.
It was a pretty good, yeah. I mean, I agree with you. What I don't like on the ArchAngel side is you saw that round, Quicks actually got 3 UMP frags, and he's still keeping the UMP. And I feel like sometimes this is those type of round that you should maybe try to upgrade for the DM4 instead, because it could actually make a difference.
Yeah, I'd say so. They do have quite the amount of money for it as well. So Or Robin coming from the connector might go through the smoke. Well, they do make it past that first connector position. Nighthawk's big entry. Will they expect the second long player, though? It doesn't look like it. Dominate one. Suzuki with his back turned. Oh, Dominate's going off. Last guy up. Mycox with just 6 HP, and Downey has an op. He doesn't find himself an automatic, and Mycox gets his frag onto Dominate. Things get really interesting from here. And ArchAngels. ArchAngels seem to have a idea that the bomb is down in this spot. And Dominate shifts over to middle. Interesting. While Downey is just waiting for some sort of push to come in from Mycox through the door at connector. And Mycox takes a new position, goes all the way to long. He has all the time in the world to play with here. And Dominate knows this, so he's going to play outside of T middle. There's no way that Mycox expects this player to be here. And that's a wrap. Dominate, so smart of a play.
That was fantastic. Like, I mean, that play there from Archangel was so good. Quicks was that long, got fragged first, and then Dominate. I'm pretty sure DarkPassage was like, okay, that's the guy playing long A. It's clear now. Dominate comes in with the type of sneaky play, gets 4 frags. I mean, 3 frags when they entered A, and then after that falls back towards the mid to kill Mako at the end. And I mean, it just phenomenal play from Dominate there. I mean, he just played that really smart, didn't really risk anything. He knows he was low HP, so no reason to actually be exposed. Try to play in a position where the tease has to come to you. It's a 1v2 situation, no reason to let them win that round.
While we're in this slower round, I mean, the DarkPassage setup is they always have 2 drop down, they try to throw their smokes, they have 2 broken wall, sometimes they'll make noise quicker, sometimes they'll just be posted up, and then we see DarkPassage trying to open up. Would you like more diversity in that, or do you think that's just fine of an opener?
I missed what you said. I think my internet kind of crashed a bit.
Oh. Well, we'll move on from there then. I think we got our answer based on the play. Woxicasmo trying to come up mid, denied by Fetch with the 4K of his own. Probably not as impactful as Dominates that last round. Either way, scoreline tells it all. 11-2. DarkPassage, even if they win out, they're just going to need a ton of momentum moving forward.
Yeah, and right now it's just a complete like bloodbath on the Archangel frag side. Like they're just doing everything perfectly right now, and it seems like DarkPassage are trying to do something, trying to make that type of move, and even though they could have the good idea, it seems like they run into people with superior aim, and it just doesn't work out because they don't get those kind of trades, or yeah, they don't get those kind of trades. Like they need to get those straight frags, and right now it doesn't seem that they're getting them.
What it looks to me is they're pretty dependent, at least the way they were opening, on getting that drop-down control. And then once that started going the way of Archangels, I think DarkPassage trying to visit the A-bomb site, but it's a little late to feel out what the CTs are doing over there. Despite losing a ton of HP, DarkPassage do have the player advantage. Asmo, Calyx, and Suzuki have little to no HP, so this is going to make the take into the bomb site really hard. There's no Opera on the Archangel side, so one spray down, and we might see everybody from DarkPassage fall in a hurry. Fetched and Quicks are at the wrong bomb site if DarkPassage continue on to be here. See who they want to lead with, and if they even want to telegraph this take with all the utility coming through. They do have multiple smokes, so I do assume they will. Dominate goes for the push. I did not see that coming. I was looking at the HP, missed him on the mini-map. Either way, Archangels with that push will have a little extra time to rotate, but I don't think it's enough. Suzuki, free frag onto Quicks. He needs to turn around, and they double up on the drop. That allows him to trade.
Drake, great round there from DarkPassage. I felt like whatever the push that Dominate did wasn't bad. Like, it was maybe a smart idea. He wanted to maybe get a little bit of intel. Didn't want, like, he knew that drop was open, so he wanted to maybe try to isolate more of one side of the map. It was just really unfortunate that the first guy that he shot was really low HP, and the second guy that peeked and traded them was, I'm pretty sure, the guy that was full HP. And at the end, like, we knew that there were 3 guys on their team had below 15, and if it would have been those, like, 3 guys actually peeking him, it would have maybe been a different story. They just, DarkPassage just played that pretty well there.
I like the push. And Quicks, he did get a piece of 2 of the DarkPassage members as he pushed up long. I think he legged them both. Kind of rarely leg 2 people with the same bullet. Usually get a piece of one. And one onto the other. But this round, 1 for 1. Quick's able to avenge Dominate. And Quick still posted up at this broken wall spot. DarkPassage, once they've gotten the 4-4 situation with an opening frag onto the B-bomb site, they have found some success, but there's Robin again. He times it so well. Just peeks into that drop down, brings the player down and gets out of there. Ooh, I don't know about that, Archangel. That pop flash, relying on that flash to flash the people above, unless they're in the drop down, and I don't think they heard anybody drop, that flash is questionable at best. The peek to follow it up. The idea is there. I just don't think it's a good one. Quicks and Downey. They do have a vice on these two players. The DarkPassage really need to check this spammable position before they attempt to bomb plant. You might have somebody post up on it while the other guy plants, or nobody does. Calyx quite wounded, and Quicks, he has moved his way up, but I might not think he expects the player to come up mid, who's now shifted his way over to long. DarkPassage playing this one quite interestingly, as Downey finds himself in the one-on-one, but the flank eventually does prevail, 11-4.
That was, I agree with you with the flash type of idea. I didn't really agree with what they made there. I think that the move was not right, but at the same time, they were up by so much that maybe right now they feel really comfortable. They kind of know that they're going to be able to close this map out, so they're like, well, you know what, let's try new stuff, let's see what we can do. It's the good time, right? When you feel like you're in a good position and you're playing in a match like that, and you're like, well, our T side is pretty strong, we shouldn't have any issues to get 5 rounds on our T side, so let's try something on our CT side that could maybe be good for further matches and see how it works, or maybe just overconfidence on their part and just trying to pug it around a bit.
I know what you're saying with the first one. Like somebody comes up with an interesting idea at practice or something, and you just want to try it in an official match. And it's just not high enough. I don't know how you could bank that from the drop down and expect it after the T's hear it for it to blind everybody. Anyways, moving forward. DarkPassage, they need this one. So far, stack the right bomb site unless DarkPassage give up a frag or two at B with the minor fake. There is 2 fakes and 2 players moving up from drop down, opening up from Woxic 2 actually before the trade arrives. We do have a player making his way through connector, and I don't think his flanker will arrive quick enough. Mycox with a critical one. Wow, Quick spins around. Finds Suzuki. Didn't think that was going to go his way. And Robin still thinks that Mycox might be in this long area. At least Quicks grabs another. And we'll see if DarkPassage double up or play 1-1. Well, with this flanker, the longer Robin takes, the better it's going to work out for the flank, as it will eventually be a 2-on-1. Mycox from Spammable. And Calyx coming up on the flank to long. Choosing not to go middle. Maybe worried that Robin may be watching the flank from there. It will take him longer to arrive. Robin, cheeky little peek. As he does a crouch peek to open up. Doesn't want to allow the easy headshot from Mycox. And now Calyx knows it's safe to run. He's going to try to find him on the plant. Good timing by Calyx on that.
Felt like it was a really good pistol run from DarkPassage. They stacked a good bomb site. Whoever got those 2 entries at long were really crucial. What I didn't like on the Archangel side is that they actually had a good idea at bringing 2-guy drop, so that way the CTs might have known that it would have been a split, but what they did, they got 2-guy drop, made noise, boosted 1 guy back. And this is the guy that was in a 1v1 at the end. 1v1 at the end. But I feel like this was a good idea. It was just not well executed.
Definitely. Archangel is going to go for that force buy and just bust into the B-bomb site. This is so difficult to hold, and unlike DarkPassage, Archangels is able to make those Tech 9s work. Woxic on the flank. Wait a minute. Asmo onto Fetched. The bomb doesn't go down either. So this may turn into a 2 versus 1 if DarkPassage engage while the bomb is being planted. But Archangels know how much time they have to work with. So why not utilize some of it? See if you can hear anything from DarkPassage. Find out where one of those players is. See if you can get a safer plant when that situation eventually does arrive. And Robin crucially wins that out with Woxic. Asmo, I think he was hurt earlier though. And we might just see the double peek, the teamwork. It's not quite good enough as Downey got a piece of Asmo but doesn't finish him off. Downey trying to go for the set play, going into the broken wall position. Asmo has the read and he smokes it. Downey, we'll see if he peeks off of that. Asmo silently works his way up onto the broken wall. Knows he eventually has to tap the bomb, so he's got to leave that position. Downey, good timing on the peek, and ArchAngels win a devastating round for DarkPassage.
And then again, what is it? That Eco Rush B with Tech 9 seems to be really strong. I mean, we've seen it on the DarkPassage side too, when they were on Eco after De Las Pistol. Did the same type of ecos and actually killed 3 people. Obviously, ArchAngels won that round. Just well executed. I liked how they played that 2v2 at the end. Didn't rush the bomb. They're like, okay, let's just wait before planting the bomb, try to get into good position, maybe catch someone off guard because they know one of them is going to make a move at some point on the CT side. And that's what happened. They planted the bomb, got that kill, and then it was a 1v1. Asmo knew where the guy was. I feel like at the end maybe made a bad play. He should have maybe looked towards long instead of just looking down at the bomb because he knew the guy was long B. But other than that, just a really good eco round by ArchAngel.
Very strong. I mean, there's not much thought to it. Let's just rush into that B side, utilize the strength of those Tech Knights. It's a hard round to be consistent against on that CT side, even though you have the advantage. Those Tech 9s, the moment you give up an opening kill, and things just fall apart from there as those angles multiply. This is a force buy from DarkPassage. They know they can't double save in this scenario, so they gotta try to do it now. Calyx makes his move. Still alive with the UMP, but superior firepower weapons, and Calyx is spotted, and he will fall. Gotta think ArchAngels looking to close this one out quickly.
Agreed. They should be closing this map out really fast right now, which is just a straight up normal. I'm not gonna say an anti-eco because DarkPassage actually invested a little bit of money into that round, but still like a typical round that ArchAngels should have won. They won it cleanly, just perfect move. And for that B-bomb site on the second round, what I wanted to say is that I feel like the CTs go with the UMPs and MP7, right? And it's still a 2-kill shot if you buy head armor because it's gonna dink you maybe even 3 times before you die. So the Tech 9 is a really smart move because the Tech 9 can actually do 101.
Yeah, one shot, point blank. Very frustrating. As DarkPassage, they did go for the drop-down boost, but that was dealt with as the player tried to get his flank as fast as possible, had his time to line it up, and instead came charging in. Not much else he could really do. A 14-5 gun round. I guess you can call it one for DarkPassage. Not going to get everything. Don't have any incendiaries.
And right now, like I just started looking at the scoreboard and I'm seeing Suzuki right now at 2-18. I mean, I don't like to talk about stats, but maybe like it needs to maybe step it up a little bit because I feel some of those rounds are pretty close, right? And maybe if you have that one guy that can get those extra frags here and there, we'll maybe be looking at a different score right now. Instead of 14-5, maybe it would have been like a 10-8 or something.
Exactly. Stats don't matter to an extent because you have more opportunities than 2 kills. You know, that to me that means you messed up at least a couple of times, unless the way the match is working out is just crazy against you. As Woxic on to Fetch. Fetch tries to peek at the long angle. Woxic other plans, and he's reposted himself. If ArchAngels keep going for these slow peeks without any flashbangs coming through a Woxic, he's just going to keep lining him up, taking new angles. As Robin, probably his next victim, does have Downey joining him, coming up the slope in just a moment. Looking like a bleak round, but again, I just think the inevitable will be delayed. ArchAngels, they have way too big of a lead and might just take this round too. Downey 2 and stays alive. 25. This is HP, and if Asmo is checked on the cannons, this is a pre-fireable angle, but the pop flash comes through from his teammates through connector. Mike Cox comes charging through. Robin still on the spammable. Creeps his way out. Asmo gives him a target. Robin will win out, but just for a second. Calyx comes around for the trade. 14-6. Now the score, but either way, even though ArchAngels won or lost that round, they still have a better economy.
They have a better economy, and look at right now DarkPassage. There's like, you see Suzuki with UMP. Their money's not looking that great. They don't have that many utilities. I mean, they still do have a bit, yeah, I guess. But Suzuki with a UMP, and I'm pretty sure he plays that drop. And I feel like this is the type of spot where you might want a better gun than a UMP. And And I like that double op setup right now on the Archangel side. It's going to be interesting to see what they're going to try to do with it. So far we've seen there's a guy long B with it, and the other guy post up at outside long A to try to get the pick is going to move forward and maybe try to open the map with them. So I like the double op setup, but they just need to open the map. Otherwise, when you run into an execute, it's really hard to have those two ops.
So Archangels have pushed the Opper off of long. So they do know Woxic's still hanging out with that AWP, at least on the A-bomb site. Unlikely that DarkPassage would be able to afford anyone else with one. So they do have the position of the op, but they're still making a bunch of noise at this A side of middle. They still are posting a player, though, at mid on the CT side. Fetch dodges the flash, doesn't make any noise. It looks like Asmo has a read that this player is here, though. But Fetched is not flushed out from that position. We'll see if he's got the jukes. As Asmo doesn't look like he's going to give this spot up either. So Archangels, they made the noise that they were falling off of the A side. I'm wondering if this is a delayed fake attempt from the players at Archangel, or if Archangel will try to split onto this A side, as Fetch will make his move as his remaining teammate falls off, and this is devastating, for DarkPassage, as that's going to cause one of the players to rotate, and then Archangels will have a 4 versus 2 at this B bomb site. And now a 4 versus 1. Calyx has to become a monster. Fetched again with the players trying to rotate. Calyx will rotate around. But now Archangels with just 5 seconds left. That was so clean from the Archangel side. Woxic knows he's got to win this. But still, he's got 2 players to fight against. Downey from the drop down. He'll delay the peek from there. Quicks posted up. Actually, they both have AWPs. Not the greatest of weapons to crossfire with if the CT does have the jukes. But I guess Woxic's not going to go for it. I don't know if I agree with that. I guess he'll have an op for the next round. But that was so good from DarkAngel. Our DarkPassage. I'll let you walk through it.
I mean, I'm assuming you mean Archangels?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it was really a good round from Archangels there. I really like that split idea. It's good to have 2 guys down mid. Whenever that first guy actually got the kill up close mid, they just straight up went, smoked the door, and went into the smoke and creeped in it. And I felt like that was a really good move, because when he did that, that's when the BP, Archangels on B side actually executed into the B bomb site, and it was basically a 3. So they basically had a guy coming back towards all the way to mid to B, and yeah, 3 guys pushing along B, and this guy lurking. And I felt like this was a fantastic idea. That type of like reverse pinch is really good.
It's very good, and the way they executed it too, the timing was superior. I think even to DarkPassage's rotates, and before they did any of that, they even denied all intel from DarkPassage at that A side by forcing the op of, I think, Woxic, who's still alive for some reason, off of that A side. So DarkPassage is in the dark on both sides, and that's when you want to run a fake like that. So really smooth by Archangel, and kind of sad that we won't see some more stuff like that from them, as probably the last round here. You never know with CSGO pistols, though. They do have the op too. DarkPassage has brought that op over towards the B side, but if the smokes are good, still going to be troublesome for Woxic to deal with all these players. 4 players at B, this is what you want. This is almost optimal, unless you're stacking it for some reason on a force buy round alongside an op. So Suzuki, the crossfire at the drop down. Archangels coming out of Broken Wall 2. Woxic does deny the first player. So DarkPassage, it looks like they'll collect this round. Archangels is falling back with everybody towards the A side. And an opening kill. I don't know how Asmo doesn't spot Fetched moving up that middle area. Fetched, he's on a good position. Nobody checks the vent position, and still Fetched is able to get out of there. Alright, I suppose they were trying to clear it with an incendiary, but that's just not quick enough. 3 on 3 now. DarkPassage, how do you blow this round? They do get another op out of it, as well as Mycox picking up an AK, but they're so worried that a player might be in that drop-down position because they didn't get numbers when they were coming in. Asmo only spotted 1, and he got clean fragged. DarkPassage are going to have to rotate through, but they're just waiting out those final smokes from that connector. You need to wait it out, or you need to run through it. You don't get many options. Calyx makes it a 3 on 2 with by Downey, but it's Fetched, bringing everybody down from the APC. He's looking for the ace to close. Woxic jumps out to his death midair. That's the close for Archangels.